Tell us how you define a quarterly business review and some of the questions that you should be asking during this review.
Well, first of all, I think we should manage expectations of a customer. And I always like to ask new customers, what are the top 2 or 3 things that I can do to make sure that this relationship is 100% satisfactory to you? Because what's important to you doesn't necessarily mean it's important to somebody else down the hallway. So I've got to manage those individual expectations. Now, quarterly business review. Well, the mistake is that we see each other every so often, and there's a million things that are going on. But we should set up a structured meeting that's talking about, how am I doing? You know, and I know we've got all these other things to talk about, but this particular one is I want all the stakeholders that maybe I hadn't seen this senior executive since they've said yes. I'd like to get them in once a quarter and talk a little bit. Hey, let's review how we started. These were the pains. Here's what we've been doing. Here's our interpretation of where we are. Are you satisfied? What would you like us to do differently? Where else could we add value, right? What would it take for us to be fired potentially? Now, you could ask that question any way you want. Most people are like, David, why would you bring that up? Well, because my customer is somebody else's prospect. And so if I don't know what it takes for you to be unhappy, and if I don't know what it takes for you to say, I don't want to do business with you any longer, well, I won't even know when you're unhappy. And by doing quarterly business reviews, see, I think problems tend to fester. If I could meet you once a quarter and you say, well, I've got a slight problem over here in the service issue, I need to solve that now. Versus waiting 6 months, a year, and then it builds up and it builds up, and then my competitor calls you and you've just had this service problem. And you say, well, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to switch, but come see me. But if I did the quarterly business review and I know we've tightened it up and now I know what else is going on, that chances are I've closed the door for my competitor. So I do think I've got to touch base with you. I've got to ask those types of questions. And then it also helps me shut out my competitor, but also fix the problems before they become major issues.